This is not a recommendation. What do you think is the most compelling stock right now? And I will let you define the word compelling. This is not necessarily a recommendation. Give your analysis. Could be that it's
Well,
over.
I really don't do this because we own maybe questions like that, in my view, are like, well, who's your favorite kid? Doug, really, with 6 kids can really.
I don't believe in favorite kids. I do believe in least favorite kids, but
Either way, what's your least favorite kid? What's your favorite kid? I can't do that. These are all my babies. And we have, I think, roughly between two core strategies, growth and income, like 80 some odd names. So that's a I might have to come back to that one only because I'm going to pretend like I didn't hear it, and we'll go to number 5 and maybe we'll end this thing and I don't have to answer that. I mean, that's just not what we do. I say that I get that question asked all the time. And my answer has been a standard. There is no favorite.
well, I didn't say favorite. I said compelling.
Compelling. There isn't compelling. I mean, okay? You're going to use a different adjective. What's
compelling could be very concerning. It could be maybe the upside is great, but the downside is really great too. And so it's not a favorite, but it's got the most interesting story around it.
And you're not talking about necessarily something that we own.
Nope. Could be something we don't own.
Yeah. I'm not going to say that it's. Maybe I'm going to talk about the product as opposed to the company.
Okay.
I think and I don't know that I'm not going to say that I have an answer to this, but I think what might be the most compelling product out right now is the Apple Vision Pro.
Okay.
Because I think that is a significant attempt to change the platform for how we do things for the first time certainly since 2007 when the iPhone came out. So it's been 17 years. And boy, has that changed the world, right? I mean, it's been a massive change. And there are a lot of things that need to happen. Let me rephrase that. There are a lot of things that in order for them to happen need something like the Vision Pro to work. And don't get me wrong, not for 1 second do I believe that what the Vision Pro looks like today is what it's ultimately going to be. At the very least, it ends up being something like wearing a pair of Ray-Bans. But I think that's a super compelling. I mean, most people know the film Minority Report, where Tom Cruise is, pushing things around on his screen in midair. And you probably would know, being the pop culture warrior that you are. When did that come out?
I'm going to look it up, but I am going to guess 2003. I'm looking it up right now.
Oh, you think it was? I don't even think it was that recent. I think it's been more than 20 years, but I could be wrong. I thought it was maybe a 90s phenomenon.
2002, Gerry Frigon. Wow. Read them and weep.
So I thought maybe 98. So that's 4 years early, but still, okay. So it's been over 20 years since Minority Report came out. And here we are, finally at a point where, if you look at the Vision Pro, videos of people using it. I haven't used it yet. I talked to a client that did yesterday, and they actually were amazed by it. I heard there was also some stuff running out there that people were sending them back because they were getting headaches and blah, blah, blah. Apple will get this right at some point. Just don't know how long. But I think that's the most compelling because it's the first really major change in platform in a long time.
Well, also 2 other things about Minority Report. Number 1, it was all of these predictions were based on this collective consciousness of these 3 psychics or something to that effect. So our interest in wildly questionable predictions and borderline pagan practices, that seems to have gone up too. So Minority Report nailed that also. So great. And then where's the 6 sticks? Minority Report had those batons they hit people with and they made them throw up. I want that piece of technology. I think that would be pretty cool.
So, I mean, and so does that make Apple the most compelling company? Maybe. And by the way, we own a company, full disclosure, a company named Vuzix that is doing, and in some ways is ahead of Apple in that they already are like a pair of Ray-Bans, but they're mostly, they are focused completely on applications in industry. So I don't expect that they're going to have the same wow factor. They're more practical. And no doubt that the technology that they have is significant. I don't think it's going to run into Apple necessarily because it is trying to be applied in other places, but eventually I think Apple will get this right. And there's others working on it, but I mean, the Oculus that Facebook, now Meta, that just never really took hold. And it doesn't appear that they have capabilities that Apple does. I mean, at the end of the day, Apple has the ecosystem of the apps. The phone will play it, will flow into the iPad, will flow into the Vision Pro. I think Apple's vision, no pun intended, is that you're still going to use all of these things. You're still going to have a phone, at least some sort of phone. Now, maybe your phone will be more driven by your glasses. I don't know. That's probably the long-term appeal. But at present, it appears that they want that whole ecosystem to still stay together. I mean, obviously, it's to their benefit. They want you to buy three things, not an iPad, an iPhone, and a Vision Pro. Anyway, the $3,500 price tag obviously is going to have to come dramatically down. And we'll see. I mean, and maybe eventually, I mean, the holodeck or hologram is probably the ultimate end-all sale where you don't need any of that. It just shows up. I mean, we're a ways from that. They exist, but we're a ways from it. So we'll see. But I think that's pretty compelling because there's a whole lot of things, and without getting into it, there's many things that we need to do, that we are involved in, invested in, that will greatly benefit from Apple having success with the Vision Pro. So we'll see.
Moving on.
Apple's going to stay relevant, whether good, bad, or indifferent. It's going to stay relevant.